or maybe I should say the quarter of the night, because that's all that really mattered last night in OKC. The SGA and the Thunder looking to put it away, and Jay, they would make quick, and I mean quick, work of the T-Wolves.
I mean, everybody talked about how Minnesota needed to come out and play defense, and once again, it was the calling card for OKC, forcing 21 turnovers in this game. This game was over in the first 5 minutes.
It literally was. Sometimes we use that as an expression. In this case, it was reality. SGA scored or assisted 24 of OKC's 26 first quarter points. The Timberwolves had 9. That's right, 9.
9 and a quarter, Greeny. That's crazy.
In the first quarter with their season on the line, that's not much of a fight. Meanwhile, SGA, Michael, had 34 points on 25 shots.
If he'd scored 5 points last night, they still would have won that game.
It's true.
Handily, as we used to say, Greeny.
Look at him probing. That would give them a 30-point lead in the third quarter. We're still in the third. SGA, its defense, their defense is just so good. SGA would finish with 34, 7 rebounds, 8 assists. Chet Holmgren added 22. SGA is the West Conference Final MVP as OKC wins going away. And so Shai Gilgeous-Alexander scoring 30 or more in all 3 series-clinching wins for the Thunder this postseason. He would set the NBA record if he were to do it again in the finals. Look at the company he already keeps, doing it 3 times in the same postseason. Names like LeBron and Steph and Kobe and Bird and Mikan, literal royalty in the history of the game. And afterwards, the MVP showed gratitude to all those around him.
I want to thank my teammates. Without them, I'm nothing. Clear as day. I don't have 124 points by myself. I love these guys to death. Now, with all that being said, this is a step in the right direction, but we have a lot more work to do, and we know that, and that's what we're focused on. So let's buckle up and get ready.
And so the Thunder, for the first time since 2012, when they had a very different, very young big 3 that we thought was going to be around for a really long time, are headed to the NBA Finals. Monica Jay, and we begin with the Hall of Famer. Michael, what do we say on this morning as the Thunder punch a very convincing ticket to the final?
They now know what they can do. They know their potential. I'm not going to say full potential because it's going to move. It's going to evolve and change. But they know now. This is like watching a great team when all of a sudden they're playing their way and they wake up one morning and go, are you serious? Like we have this in us. You can see it going back to the Warriors, back to when they lost a game 7 to the Clippers in like 2014. And then in that 15 season where it just all started to click. And it's like, oh my goodness, they're going to be unstoppable. Oklahoma City now realizes that. And by the way, they didn't know that against Denver. They still had to prove it to themselves, much less an opponent in the league. But now they've done it, and I don't know that Indiana or the Knicks can offer much resistance.
Look, I still think this OKC team is underhyped, but there is definitely a Spurs-like dynasty feel to them. No drama, no flash, no superstar celebrity energy, just inevitability. And the core of SGA, Chet, and Jalen Williams is more complimentary than the KD, Russ, Harden era ever was. And that's no shot to them. It's just a reflection based upon the trust, the balance, and the culture that is established. This just feels like it's a system built to last for a long time throughout the season.
Monica, as I turn to you, let me just put up A19 to give everyone a sense of just how young this Oklahoma City team actually is. Average age, 25.6 years old. Weighted by playing time, they're the youngest team to reach the finals. Michael, you'll appreciate this. Since the Bill Walton Trailblazers in 1977. How long it has been. They're incredibly young. How about this OKC team?
I think, too, and watching their responses on the podium with Lisa Salters, all of them, Coach Dagnall as well, the moment where you see them all sort of get emotional, right? Like, and they're sort of fighting back. I wouldn't say full-on tears, but you can tell that the weight, the gravity of what they've achieved. And SGA talked about it. I had a game earlier this season. The Thunder were in Milwaukee. It was a regular season game, Greeny. But we're talking to Coach Dagnall, and he's like, you know, I love where this team is and the potential that they have. But these guys don't get enough credit for their buy-in when you couldn't see the promise necessarily as closely as you can this season. And so you talk about culture setters in SGA, the addition of Jalen Williams, how well Chet Holmgren has fit. But even Coach Dagnall talked about a guy like Lou Dort, who completely bought into his role on this particular team. So there is so much, I guess, joy and selflessness about this group. It's really
well, but see, that selflessness, to me, and this stands out, and Jay Will, you hit on this. there's no thought, argument, drama about whose team it is.
Because it's very clear.
And that happened in Oklahoma City. Let's be honest about it. Okay, that's not happening here. Do you see how they look at SGA? The reverence they have for him? That doesn't seem to me to be something that will be threatened, to Jay Will's point, in the next few years. They have an order and they're fine with it.
And he reciprocates it. You heard him.
He does.
Without my guys, I'm nothing. That's exactly what you want. You asked the question, what does Vegas expect in the next round, Cindy? Let's show them A17. And for those of you who don't speak gambling, this is a remarkable number. The Thunder are minus 600 favorites to win the championship right now at ESPN Bet Sportsbook. The Pacers, you see the numbers, are plus 525. The Knicks, if you think they can rally, you get almost 30 to 1 on them right now.
Mike, to his credit, think about what Sam Presti went through with that team, with KD, with Russ, with James, watching that implode in real time. The fact that, he's been a GM since 2007. There was a clip a couple of years ago where LeBron was like, he's the one in the game. He's stockpiling draft picks, and he builds the right culture, and look how it's paying dividends right now.
Somebody asked me, I think I was on radio in Chicago with Waddle and Sylvie Greeny, and it was a great question. You can pick any player you want from this year's draft, including one. You can pick Cooper Flack or any player, or you can have Sam Presti. Who do you want? It takes me no time to answer Sam Presti. And I know that's dangerous because you remember the old argument which caused massive drama in Chicago when Jerry Krause once said, organizations win, players win. But to get the right players, I want that person. Because he has now done it twice in a place where he's not going to get free agents, where it's got to be done through the draft and trading.
So I want to play you on the other side. So OKC's going to the finals. They're unbelievable. Their numbers now this season are ridiculous. I think I read this morning their record on the season now, they're like 80-18 or something like that. I'll get that confirmed. But one way or another, the other side of this, Anthony Edwards, after the game last night, back-to-back tough games for Ant-Man with his season on the line. And afterwards, his reaction was this.
It's exciting. I don't know why people would think it would hurt. I mean, it's exciting for me. I'm 23. I get to do it a whole bunch of times. I'm hurt more so for myself, for Mike. I came up short for Mike. Like I said, we tried last year. We couldn't get it. We tried again this year. We're going to try again next year. But hurting is a terrible word to use. I'm good, yeah.
So the Mike he's talking about is Mike Conley, who's sitting right there and looks devastated because he's coming close to the end of his career.
Because he was.
And there's Ant-Man. There's a lot of reaction to that response. What did you think of it?
Ant-Man's 23. I don't overreact too much to what players say, particularly after what's a devastating loss. We know Ant-Man well enough now to know he doesn't want to appear. He's too cool to be showing hurt. And if that's his reaction to it, Monica, you know what? I'm okay with it. Look, I've been around the greatest players in the last 40 years, and they did show hurt. I've been around Magic after he lost. I've been around Michael after he lost. Been around watching Larry Bird after he lost some of those playoff games, and they did show the hurt, but not everybody does. There have been other players who didn't show it as much, who didn't want to reveal of themselves in the moment, didn't